Good morning, ladies and gentlemen of YouTube. I'm going to take you on a quick tour of my toolbox today and show you a little bit of what I have in it and kind of give you an overview of what I use every day and what I think of it. You've seen me do a review on my channel, my Harbor Freight tool cart, which I loved. It's a great cart. I have it at home now, but I needed something with a little more storage space. And actually, this Kobalt cart that I did a review on a while back, I'm getting to the point where I'm outgrowing it, so I'm gonna have to figure something out. But until that point, I'm gonna give you a tour of the box and show you what I use every day. You're gonna have to mind the mess because I'm in the middle of a couple of little jobs here, so I've got some stuff scattered out on top of it, and you know, it's not as clean and neat as it normally is if I wasn't if I was done with a job and then kind of put everything back away. So here we go. I'll take you on a quick tour. Now, as you can see up on top, it's got this foam pad, and in my initial review, I said something about I wasn't sure exactly how well that was going to hold up, and it's actually held up fairly well. The chemicals, the oils have not bothered it. You can see over here, it's got some anti-seize on it. There's some oil on it. It's held up really well. You can see I've got pliers and wrenches and ratchets and stuff laid out. Now, this extension right here, this one, let's see, do I have another one out here? No, this one is the only one I've got out at the moment, but that's actually a Harbor Freight extension, and I am actually really shocked at how well that thing is held up. That one's done great. I had some that were wobble extensions that had the wobble on the end of them here, and those did not hold up. The quarter drive ones didn't hold up worth a darn. Now my top drawer is all my sockets. You can see I've got some wobble sockets over here. I've got, if I pull it all the way out, I've got 3/8 drives here, standards. These are all standards, 6 point, 12 point. I've got all my quarter drives, standard, metric, 6 points, 12 points. I've got some 3/8 drives metrics here. I've got my tamper-proof Torx up here. Now, one thing, a trick to get these Allens and things, these extensions, to sit down on these are Harbor Freight socket rails. And they're stupid cheap, but they work great. I've had these in here for almost 2 years now, and aside from a couple broken pins here and there where I've dropped something on them, which is my own fault, I can't complain at all about them. Now, if you look, what I've done here is actually cut that center pin. I took a pair of side cutters and cut the center pin off, and then you can sit anything that doesn't have a center hole right down on top of it, and it'll hold them nice. And my extensions, my swivels, I got one swivel here. As you can see, another trick, take some electrical tape, wrap your swivel. It'll keep the pins from coming out, and it stiffens it up so that you can actually reach in with it. Now, all my 1/2-inch stuff is back in the back, and I can get to it. It's just I don't use my 1/2 inch as much as I use my 3/8 and quarters, so it's back there. Now, I do have, this is a special snap-on 12 point, I believe it's 12 millimeter. Yeah, it's a 12 millimeter with a short extension. That's for the like Ford drive shaft bolts on their trucks. And I do have these, where are they? These 3/8 Harbor Freight, there we go, wobble extensions in here. These things, as you can see from the back side of this one, I've used these on an impact, and these things have actually held up really well. I can't complain about that. Next drawer down is all my wrenches. Now, as you can see, I've got all my ratchet wrenches here in the middle. Most of these are all Craftsman here in these two. These are Craftsman except for the 16, which Craftsman doesn't give you a 16 in their set. Their set goes from 8 to 19, but there's no 16. So that one's a Crescent brand. 20, 21, 22, and 24 are all Crescents. This is one out of a set of big wrenches that I have at home. I brought that in for doing the fan clutch nuts on GMs. Most of them are 1.5 inches, and that works a lot better than one of the thinner clutch wrenches. It doesn't slip as much, and this end doesn't have a tendency to spread. These are all my standards. What is it? 5/16, I believe. Yeah, 5/16 through 7/8 standards. Got my air chuck here. And these again are all Craftsman. Got all my stubbies, my little packages of Allen wrenches. I don't really use them too much. Most of the time I use the driver bits unless it's not size. Now this is a snap-on. It is actually for doing the O2 sensors. And I got this because you can get this, that thing's so thick and heavy you can put a lot of torque on it and it's not gonna spread and spin. That sucker's expensive though. These wrench holders here are all Harbor Freight. These are actually Proto that I got from the Snap-on guy. They're for stubby wrenches. They do have a magnet on the back, but it's not real strong. This is not strong enough to hold these full-size wrenches. And then my next drawer down, I've got my Snap-on screwdrivers. I have Snap-on Torx bits. This is their 12-piece set. That's that goofy 47, let's see, what is it? It's a 47E, I believe is what it's called. It's actually 4 GMs. You can see how the top of it's a little different than a standard Torx. These are external Torx back here from Snap-on. I've got all my punches, my chisels, picks. This is just a magnetic rail down here. I've got a little scraper blade on here. My nut runner, just a couple of random picks. These two are actually T20 and T25 Torx. That's out another set of screwdrivers. Seal puller, these are all gear wrench Torx. I got these mainly for doing pulling the fuel injectors out of Power Strokes because sometimes you need that longer Torx to get down to the hold down bolt. Trim panel tools. These are all Harbor Freight pry bars. They've all held up really well. I have no complaints about them. The big one flexes a little bit, but for the price, I cannot complain. Brake adjusting tool. You know, just odds. Kind of my go-to drawer for stuff like that. These screwdrivers, they're Snap-on or lifetime warranty, but those are some nice screwdrivers. Love them. So, next drawer down is all my pliers. Now, this is my second Harbor Freight dead blow. This and this both of these are Harbor Freight. The first one I beat the living snot out of, and I actually traded into the Snap-on guy, and he gave me a $20 credit toward this hammer, which I didn't even pay 20 bucks for that. I paid like $12 for the new one. So, and then I have this. I have a pair of straight long needle nose that are these are vice grip. These two are vice grip pliers. That's vice grip. Those three are great. I just got this stripper crimper from the Snap-on guy. This is a Snap-on. Used it a couple times. Man, it works good. This is a big pair of Crescent pliers that I got on a deal at one of the farm stores. Good old pair of channel locks, linesman's pliers. I got a couple other pair of pliers that are out of here right now. And then my bottom drawer is just kind of my junk drawer. I've got my die grinder, my mirror, my calipers, my feeler gauges, bore gauges, my multimeters, test lights, files, some Scotch-Brite battery terminal cleaners, my ratchet, keep my clipboard in here, and just some other odds and ends stuff. This is for the hydraulic hood props on cars. Man, that thing is a lifesaver. Keeps you from getting your head bashed. Now down here on the bottom drawer, got this giant, my big ass pair of crimpers in here. Let's see, I've got my dial indicator. One of these harmonic balancer puller, one of them's for pulling power steering pump pulleys. 3/8 impact socket set. That is actually my exhaust pipe stretcher. Hand impact driver. Both of these are easy outs. That's a Craftsman bolt out. That's another one. Got my extra gloves in here. Hole saws. Another work light down there. Air tool oil, just some odds and ends stuff. That's the bag with my drill and for my cordless drill and cordless impact. Speaking of which, my cordless drill's up here on top. And here's another trick for you. if you go to the hardware store, you can find these, in the plumbing section, you can find these pipe brushes in all kinds of different sizes. If you buy them and cut the little wire loop handle off the back, you can chuck them up in a drill, and they work great for cleaning out bolt holes, cleaning up battery terminals. They're quick, they're easy. You can get them in places that you can't get a battery terminal brush in. And then I have my cordless impact, and you can tell this thing's seen some better days. It's a Porter cable. It just came from the, home improvement store, and I've got a 1/2 and a 3/8 adapter that goes into them. There's my quarter swivel. You can see I got it taped up too. But that thing is a time saver in a huge way. Now the Snap-on Impact, that's my boss's. That is their newest one that he just bought, and that thing is just wicked. I love that thing. But anyhow, guys, sorry about that. So that's a quick tour of my box. That's what I've got in it. I use this stuff every single day. So, just to give you an idea, most of the sockets and stuff that are in there, aside from the stuff that's in Snap-on rails, are Craftsman or Gear Wrench. And the Craftsman I got as a 311 piece set, and I added on the non-ratcheting wrenches. And that was probably the best buy because I got it for a little over, it was like $215 with tax. And I use that stuff every day, and aside from, I haven't broke any of it. I haven't worn it out. Some of the sockets are showing a little bit of wear. My quarter drive ratchet, this little guy here, it's showing a little bit of wear, but I can swap them out. The only one I really have had trouble with is my 18mm ratchet wrench, and it's not wanting to ratchet properly. I'm going to have to return it. But other than that, I can't complain about any of it. The Harbor Freight stuff that I have in here, I've done reviews on it before. Long term, this stuff, I don't have any complaints. Not for the money I spent on it. So anyhow, guys, I hope you like the tour. Please, and the box itself, it has a few minor things that could be worked on, drawer slides, things like that, but I've got a lot of weight in it. It's held up. I roll it around here every day. I can't complain. It works great. If you have any questions about any of this stuff, please send me a comment in the comment section. If you like the video, please comment, rate, subscribe. Tell me what you think. Tell me what you'd like to see. You guys have a great day.